Hey, gang, welcome back to the Match Grade Podcast, and this is our post-SHOT Show episode. Matt, this was your first SHOT Show.
Oh, God. Yes, it was. It was.
Tell everybody what you thought about it.
What I thought, boy, that's a lot.
Yeah.
What did I think of it? It is indescribably huge. I think I saw, and that when I say saw, meaning I walked by, probably only 2/3 of what was there.
Yeah, we didn't see everything.
No, not at all.
Well.
It was pretty incredible, pretty overwhelming. And
You gotta remember, I did warn you. It was going to be a lot.
I know. But also quite interesting. I did actually learn a few things. Mm-hmm. Saw some neat stuff. Talked to some great people. So yeah, it was a lot of fun overall. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was I actually figured it out. That was my fourth SHOT Show. And it is easily twice as big as the last one I went to. And both in just volume of suppliers.
Yeah.
Okay. But also in how far it's spread out.
Well, it's essentially two entire venues.
I think it was three, actually.
Well, sort of, yeah. So it's Caesars Forum.
Yep.
Which is like a big convention center.
Right.
All of that entire place.
Yeah.
And then
there was 1, 2, 3, 4. It was like 7 or 8 rooms in Caesars.
And when we say rooms, they're giant rooms.
Yeah.
Right? And then the other one was the
Venetian
Venetian Expo.
Yeah.
And that was huge. And that was their main convention area room upstairs.
Yeah.
And then a giant room below that was full.
Yeah. And not to mention the big atrium that had a whole bunch of things.
That had smaller rooms.
Right.
Well, there's like 5 or 6 more rooms off of that. Something like that.
I think I counted. It was about 8.
8? Yeah.
On the side and over here. It was just.
And then I realized there was even like rooms upstairs.
Yeah.
That places were only in for a couple days out of the whole show. Mm-hmm. And then other vendors had rented their own like suites.
Yeah.
In the hotel as well. So,
yeah. I found out. It's crazy. When I went up to meet my buddy Mike Hess from ASP. And
that's right.
He's like, I'm like, where are you guys? He goes, no, we rented a suite.
They had a suite.
Yeah,
that's all they had.
They call it a business suite because you got, there's 2 rooms on either side, but in the middle is like this. It's like a giant living room and kitchen.
Yeah,
and it's just set up to sit down and
they basically had client meetings.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's all they did.
Yeah, so it's undescribable. I mean, you just can't even describe how big.
I got to say, the view out the window was pretty cool. It was on the 41st floor.
Yep.
And it looked right out over, Las Vegas. And right smack in the middle of the window was the Trump Tower.
Oh, really? That's cool. That's
and that thing, the sun hit it just right. It was
great.
But, I'm looking out the window. I'm like, oh, here comes the vertigo. Okay, we're going to back up now.
Yeah. I mean, some of the vendor booths were, basically small buildings built in the convention center.
Well, you've got a convention center that has, probably 60-foot ceilings.
At least that.
Right?
Yep.
And some of these things are 2 stories with some room to spare.
Yeah. I mean, Smith & Wesson's booth was like half a city block. The Glock booth was almost that big. Yeah.
There were some big ones out there, like the big name manufacturers. They just really come out for this thing.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. What did someone say that the most expensive booth cost $700,000 to build the booth?
At least.
That's what I was told. The most expensive one there was like about $700,000.
And I know it takes them a long time to set up because, our friends at Glock were telling us that their booth was being set up the day after Christmas.
They started. Yeah.
And here it is, near the end of January, so nearly a month to put this thing together.
And a lot of the vendors were out there the week before doing setup, getting the booths ready. So
we've got a lot to cover. I know we did a pre-SHOT Show one where we were talking about what we wanted to see, and I know we didn't hit all that list. I guarantee you, we did not.
No, I
see
got some
everything.
notes. We did not. I did not see it all. Saw some other stuff that wasn't on that list that I want to talk about that was really good too. So that's all right.
Yeah, so it kind of
Balanced out.
worked away. So Matt, why don't you start with some of the gear and some of the things that you ran into? Only some of it. Well, whatever.
Let me talk about. I'll start with kind of the stuff that I saw that I ended up thinking was pretty cool. I was pretty excited about. The Ruger RXM. Their collaboration with Magpul. Their we'll say Glock-esque gun. I had not seen one in person until I got the shot, and pretty impressed with it. Having a Glock type gun that's a chassis system is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like the grip angle. I like the fact that it uses Gen 3 mags. So, that was actually really, really neat. I'm glad I got to see that.
You know what's funny? I noticed it. I don't know if I just suddenly became aware of it because we were talking about some of the new products that were out, but it seems like this year there was a lot of blending between manufacturers.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's another one on my list. Yes, exactly.
But that's what I meant. It's like I saw this collaboration with this, we'll talk about it, but the collaboration with Glock and Aimpoint.
Actually, the funny thing is almost everything on my list is some sort of collaboration.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was the one I was just thinking about was the Glock and Aimpoint with the KOA system.
Hey, you know what? Ed's going to love this.
Uh-oh.
I think I found my next Glock.
Really?
I'm going to get another one.
So I'm sold. I was not until I got out there.
Yeah.
Held one of the KOA systems, looked at it, looked how it actually mounts and works. I like it. I think it's going to avoid a lot of the problems that people have with mounting an optic. I'm excited about the optic as well because it's a big window,
and I think
but they've shrunk it down. Yeah, I do too. So waiting.
Blue Label, baby.
Waiting. I hear rumblings that the production numbers are going to be fairly low this year.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
But the optic's pretty cool as well.
Yeah.
It's a big window, but it's shrunk down.
Right. The window appears large because of the shell has been
they've actually been able to minimize the shell, right? Yeah. So that was actually really cool. The Glock booth was awesome. We know a lot of the guys from Glock, so it's surprise, I know.
I know why it was awesome for me. I can talk about it.
You can talk more about that.
So we had the Ruger combo, right?
Yep, the Ruger combo, the Glock KOA.
Right.
Other stuff that wasn't on my original list before.
Yeah, the surprise stuff, right?
Stuff that came out actually after we did that show that I was like, oh, I really want to see that. Smith & Wesson with Lipsies has been, they did it last year. They came out with this ultimate carry J-frame revolver, which they, put real sights on it and they tuned the trigger, and it was just a nice gun, but they came out with a titanium cylinder version this year to lighten it up. It drops about 3.5 ounces off the gun. And I like both the original and the new one they came out with. That is on my extremely short list of guns to get. And I like the fact that it's in 32 H&R Magnum, which gives you that sixth round in a J-frame.
But still
that same small package, right? Yeah. And then it also gives you a lot less recoil than even a 38.
Yeah,
because 38 can still be a handful for some people, but
especially when you lighten the cylinder, which is there's a lot of mass in that cylinder.
Yeah, that new gun, the titanium gun, is only 13 ounces. It's pretty light.
At 38, it's going to kick.
38, yeah, that's why they actually are not making it in 38. They're only making it in 32 H&R because of that.
Well, so that's probably smart.
I think it is smart. So that another collaboration of Lipsies, and then also big news that came out just before shot was Lipsies and Smith are working together to bring back the mountain guns, the Smith & Wesson
mountain guns. I remember seeing those. Which
I've wanted a 44 Magnum mountain gun for as long as I can remember, and I've just watched the price go up and up and up, and now they're coming out with the new version basically. And it is super, super nice. Triggers
you better get it before that price goes up and up and up.
And the cool thing about that is not just doing a 44. They're doing the 629 and 44, but they're also doing a 686 and 357 Magnum, which will have a lot of people that will want that for sure.
Yeah.
So that was cool. I got to hold that, pull the trigger on it. It was pretty nice gun. So
yeah.
Again, that's my maybe a little longer list, but it's there. So those were a couple things, and oddly enough, it seems like a lot of revolvers on my list.
Well, you are a little more revolver.
I do still like my revolvers. Yeah. Smith & Wesson came out with a line of classic revolvers this year, with no internal lock, which has been the thing that everyone's complained
Oh
about.
yeah, because
So-
I remember hearing about that. The trigger wasn't great.
Yeah,
Sometimes the lock slips on.
The lock would fail. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Fail in the on position, which is not good.
That sucks.
So these guns look like the old guns. The finish is very, very good, like the old guns.
Oh yeah, there was the retro blued.
The retro blue, right?
Yeah.
You saw that one with me at the Smith booth.
Yeah.
Yep. So they're coming out with those this year. 3 different models, 38 and 357 Magnum, both. So nice guns. I was excited to take a look at those, and they're everything that they claimed they would be. So yeah, that's going to be neat.
Yeah,
So,
I tell you, that gun looked great because it had that old the best word I can find is that like a patina to it. You know, it had that old look to it.
It
like
did.
It had been heated up a little bit here, and you know, just
Yep.
it was nice. I've got an old, I think it's a Model 19 or something,
yep.
and it looked like just like that.
They look just like the old guns.
Yeah.
They're really nice. So yeah, so some revolvers, the Ruger, a little mention of the Kel-Tec, and the actual name is now slipping my mind.
Oh no!
But their 5.7 gun that's using no removable magazine.
That's right.
It's got
the stripper clip you load from the top.
That's
which
right.
is- I don't know, but whatever.
And I asked him about it. I actually got to talk to the guys at Kel-Tec about it when I was there, and they said really the idea was to make the gun as thin as possible. So
Well,
by
they did
making
it.
all the internals non-removable, you don't have that extra wall of the magazine. They were able to make the gun really thin.
Yeah.
And it is skinny.
Yeah, it was like maybe
Yep.
that. It was maybe an inch and a quarter.
20
wide.
rounds of 5.7 in the magazine.
Wow.
You know,
I mean,
so-
in the clip, we can say clip with this one.
Well, it is
It's
an
a stripper
internal
clip.
mag, but right, stripper clip. So
Yeah.
20 rounds.
I remember somebody asking us that, you know, was that designed to get around some of the detachable magazine stuff? And I'm like, well, in New York, they use the word ammunition feeding device.
Right. So you'd still be banned.
They're still screwed on
But
that
I
one.
asked the guys about that at Kel-Tec, and they said they were going to come out with a limited 10 version of that gun.
Well,
So
if
it'll be
they're
out
gonna
later.
sell it,
It'll be
they
out
have to.
later this year. So they
Yeah.
will have one available in banned states where 10 rounds is the limit. So, yep.
Dumb states.
That was pretty cool, too. Just, you know, we can beat on Kel-Tec, but they do come out with some different,
Right.
innovative type stuff.
Well,
So,
you remember a few years ago, they came out with that KSG.
well, the KSG, it's pretty
People,
nice gun.
you know, people were, you know, like, oh my God, you know, so yeah, double barrel shotgun. Okay, but, you know, we've had
double
those
magazine
forever.
shotgun. Yeah, but it's a
But-
double magazine shotgun.
Yeah, they just kind of switched it. And a lot of people were like, wow, that's weird.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, everybody just went and bought them because, well, it was weird. They wanted different.
Can't argue with 14 rounds of buckshot.
Well, yeah.
So.
It's like a Nerf gun for reals.
So that was the stuff I saw that really wasn't on our list. So what
Okay.
what did you want to talk? We'll get back to some other guns and stuff.
Yeah,
but
let's
I know you
bounce around a little bit.
You had maybe a little different experience than I had.
Well, I went out, as you know, as we talked about, I wanted to do more networking than anything.
Well, yeah, which we did, which is cool.
That happens a lot at SHOT Show.
Yep.
You know, it's going to happen at NRA when I go there in a couple months. So, but I wanted to reconnect with some colleagues, some friends of mine that I hadn't seen because of just distances and availability. But also, I wanted to definitely connect with some of the suppliers that we've been bringing gear in for the carry gear
for the store. Yeah.
So, you know, like, you know, we mentioned Glock earlier, and all, like, I know a ton of people at Glock between, you know, the GSSF matches we've hosted, the training on the training side. Yep. And then some of the guys have gone from GSSF to sales. So now we know a bunch of people
on the sales side.
Yep. So, but, you know, guys like, you know, like Steve, you know, Parasol, that goof. It was good to see him again. It's been a while. But one guy I hadn't seen probably in a couple of years, the training manager, Scotty Banks.
Yeah, I haven't seen Scotty.
I mean, his biscuit shovels that he called them at one time. It was funny. It's like he didn't recognize me up front because the last time he saw me, I had glasses on.
Right.
And he's like staring at me, and I'm talking to Scott Drobnik from GSSF, and I'm like, why is this guy looking at me funny? And I knew who he was.
Right.
And Scotty goes, he's like, who are you? And I hold up my badge. He goes, what? So it was really nice to see him and his boss Willie.
Yep.
But seeing the guys, and I gotta say, all the guys I know at Glock are just really cool people, awesome dudes. But honestly, they can't top meeting Catherine Glock.
Oh, yeah.
The one that is steering the ship now of Glock.
And insert that picture of Dave with Catherine Glock.
Yeah, Ed'll put that up.
Yep.
I got to tell you, we met her on Tuesday when we first got there.
Yeah.
Okay, took a quick picture
In the Glock booth. Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was interesting to meet her. I had no idea she would be there. Just like, years ago when I met her husband, her late husband.
Right.
I was at the Glock dinner. All of a sudden, there's this dude with all these giant carved out of stone dudes that are security. So I've met both of them.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that was cool. So that was, I got to say, that was kind of a highlight of the trip is, meeting somebody like that. So yeah, met the Glock people. I met, when I ran into a bunch of my contacts at the USCCA, ran into Justin Peters again, Steve Hendricks, Steve Fisher, all good guys to talk to, and actually got to meet the director of training for the USCCA. Personally introduced to him. Couple personal recommendations, so he and I needed to meet, which was good. And then ran into a guy who was one of the developers of the addendum that they made for New York State. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember if I had a chance to tell you about this because I think it was on Friday.
Oh, we were gone. Already gone.
I gave him an earful about it because it had some things that needed to be improved on.
Yeah, we talked about that.
He sat there, he took notes, he's willing to listen. He and I have emailed a couple times, and I got to give him credit. He's being proactive on this.
Good.
So all in all, meeting with the USCCA guys was really cool. Again, got to reconnect with a couple people, but also got to meet some pretty influential people there as well. Of course, I missed the big guy, and he was in and out and there and gone, and
right.
So whatever. Let's see, who else did I run into? Oh, my good friend and fellow trainer, Robin from A Girl and a Gun.
Oh yeah, I meet her too. Yeah,
she sought me out. We were texting each other, trying to figure out where we were. She was hitting me up, trying to figure out how to connect and everything. And then finally, she's like, "I'm heading to the Smith & Wesson booth."
That's where, that's where I met her.
That's where we were going to.
Yeah.
So it was great to see her. I'm going to see her in another month and a half or so, beginning of May.
Yeah.
So what else? What else did we see on the gear side?
I was going to go back to our list from pre-shot of stuff we were going to look at.
Yeah, how many did we check off?
I at least got eyes on most of them, although I could not get in a couple booths. Just as a mention, Staccato booth. Tried to get in there. It was a madhouse. It wasn't even worth fighting. All the crowds tried to get in.
I think the only way we could have gotten in there is if we waited till they closed the doors.
That's about right. It was insane around that place.
There, nobody was there.
Yep. And kind of actually same with Shadow Systems. Shadow Systems, I kind of peeked in. There was a ton of people. Yeah. Really didn't get a good chance to get in, look at the new CR920X.
They have been picking up a lot of steam lately.
They are.
They are like there's an upswing in their popularity.
But, did get in the Taurus booth. I was interested in a lot of their stuff. The Heritage guns, that's part of their line. I did look at that 12 gauge shotgun that we talked about, the Coach Whip. It's nice for the $800 price point as opposed to $1,500 or so for a lot of the Coach guns.
Yeah, that was actually a nice looking shotgun.
Yep. The 608 revolver that Taurus came out with, I got hands on that. Mm-hmm. It's got a very nice trigger, especially for a Taurus. I think their quality across the board has improved. Their revolvers were always pretty decent, but this certainly seems to be making a real run at Smith & Wesson right now.
Okay.
That was cool. The Gerson 2311 competition pistol, again, a sub $1,000 entry-level competition pistol. Yeah. Had a really nice trigger, felt really good. I got to hold that gun.
And that thing was pretty well appointed.
It's got
right out of the box.
All the features to take it and run a competition with it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Pretty much, ready to go. So probably the one we spent the most time at that was on our list and that I like the most and has actually definitely made my list is the Fight Light lever action guns in general. But even their little lever action pistol. But I probably personally would go for one of the rifles. It just makes sense. It's New York compliant.
Yeah.
Super smooth action.
Guys, picture an AR, but lever action.
Yeah. I mean,
It was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I was twisting my eyes around a little bit going, what?
Yeah.
And then I looked at it and I'm like, wait a minute.
And smooth. And that's the thing. I've looked at pump and lever action ARs,
Yeah.
and usually they're just not smooth. This thing was incredibly smooth. Talked to those guys quite a bit. And funny enough, the guy that we ended up talking to in the booth was from Rochester.
Yeah.
And then moved to Florida, and he lives near where I have friends and family down there.
Right,
so,
yeah. Because he actually went to RIT.
Went to RIT.
Right.
Yep. Lived in Ontario.
Lived in Ontario.
And then, yep. Ended up working for Fight Light and
a weird small world
small
moment.
world stuff. But that was actually really cool.
Yeah.
Definitely on my list of guns I want. The High Point pistol carbine. Now, it's a High Point, guys. I don't know what else to say. I did get to look at it. It's a High Point that is now a pistol, a pistol carbine. So yeah, it is what it is. What else? The HEK CC9. Me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I looked at it and it's a micro 9 like everyone else's micro 9.
Yeah.
So I wasn't too impressed. And it's kind of the same with the Kimber. Kimber was a Kimber. It's very well made, but just handling it, it's too tight. The tolerances, like most Kimbers, are too tight.
Yeah.
I worry about reliability with that gun because of that.
Yeah.
So,
I remember the Kimber I have, it's maybe a 200 to 300 round gun, and I gotta clean that thing.
yeah, this thing definitely felt that way.
Yeah.
It is small. It definitely felt good in the hand. I'm sure a lot of people were going to buy one. But to me, it just, I don't know.
It didn't blow your skirt up?
No, it's almost too, it's like too much, right? That's the thing. So,
Yeah, maybe.
yeah, that was kind of our list of stuff. The Canic. They're
Canics.
they are hitting it out of the park, honestly. Everything they had looked good, well made. And I know I've seen enough of them. They're reliable. That was definitely a company that I think everyone should be watching.
Yeah.
And,
I know.
and their price point is phenomenal.
Yeah,
So,
I know you and I were talking about changing out a little bit of the inventory.
We're talking about selling some pistols.
Shh. Maybe
Maybe
you'll just buy
or
more.
maybe just buy more. but adding some variety.
Yep.
And Canic is on my list.
Right.
I want to pick up a Canic and play around.
Well,
with
that gray and black or gray, black, and white Canic that I handled, that just thing looked so sharp. What'd they call it? I think they called it a frosted look or something.
Yeah, I forget what that term was, but yes,
Yeah.
that was pretty cool.
I would get that just for the look.
Those guns are they were really nice for the money.
Yeah. Oh, the operation, the slide action, when playing with it, the trigger was actually really
Trigger
nice.
was good. The trigger was real good on them.
Yeah, it was really nice. So I was
Surprisingly
impressed.
good. Unlike some of the other Micro 9s that had come out, gosh, I was trying to remember. There was a couple other. Everyone seemed to have a Micro 9 this year. That's where the industry's at, and just a couple of them are not impressive at all. So I can't remember.
I remember handling a couple and just like you just pick it up. You're like,
Yeah, exactly.
you didn't get that good feeling of it.
So, yeah, so that was kind of what we had looked for as far as like handguns. I got a couple rifles, but
Yeah.
I'll bounce it back to you to talk a little bit more about maybe some of our suppliers or whatever that we
Yeah.
saw.
So objective 2 of our mission going to SHOT Show
Da-da-da.
was to meet up with some of our suppliers that we have gotten material in and gear in for the Carry Gear store.
If you guys don't know, we do have now a store
Yeah.
in Rochester, Carry Gear store, that we're carrying accessories to conceal carry, basically.
But
So,
it's not some of the stuff you would see in the mass retail places.
no, that's our goal. It's
Better
not,
stuff.
right?
Right. It's better belts. It's better holsters. It's better gear all around.
Right.
And we have a lot of less lethal stuff. We'll talk about that real quick. But I wanted to actually, because a lot of the times you're dealing with these sales reps over the phone and by email.
That's what we're doing mostly, right?
Right? It's just the way to do it. You can't really meet them. So we met a bunch of the guys. We met Travis from Core Belts, who we have. And he was telling us about some new stuff coming out.
Which we can't talk about.
No, I guess we
But-
can't yet. Well, actually, we can.
I don't know.
They're going to have some interesting belts coming out. We'll put it that way.
There's interesting. So one thing they are doing, we can't say what, but they have special editions
Yes.
with color
Right.
or pattern,
Dealer
camo,
only.
dealer only,
Dealer only ones.
dealer only stuff.
Yeah.
So that you may see some of that later this year.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
So talking to Travis a little bit was good because we got we got to feel out what they're doing, what they're looking for, what we can do.
Yep.
And then went and saw our saw Saber for the pepper spray.
Yeah.
And then we re-upped an order on that. That's on the way in another week.
Yep.
And got a couple other variants of canisters for spray. So we'll work with those.
Mm-hmm.
And then went and saw our contact over at Byrna for the launchers.
Yeah.
Right. Found out some interesting news, which we got to check on with our legal team.
Yeah, that's the other,
right?
Yep.
But
They got some stuff coming too. Which
Oh,
be
yeah.
interesting.
it'll be good. There's going to be a really nice product coming
Yeah.
out that we're going to be good.
We had some long conversation with them.
Yeah.
with Burnham.
It was good.
Spent a bit of time at their booth. So
And saw how they run their range and gave us an idea how we can set up our range for the intro to Byrna classes.
yeah, definitely.
We might try that.
Up our game with that
Yep.
for sure.
And then one of the really good meetings we had was with AJ at LEG Tactical for their holsters.
Yeah, she was awesome.
Oh my God, I can't. Yeah, it was like I was just blown away by. She's like, okay, tell me what you need. Let's work. Let's
Super
work on
helpful. Super willing to work with us. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So-
they got. We can talk about this because they're out.
Yeah, they've got a new AIWB coming out.
They got using the monoblock or the two metal type clips.
Yep.
And I like that system. It's a lot better system than the plastic clips.
Yeah.
So they're really up in their game with
Those clips really hold on to your belt or your clothes.
Yep, they hold.
So it was good to speak to them. Made a really good connection with North American Rescue.
Oh yeah, that's right. I had forgotten about that. Yes,
Yeah.
we did see that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that dealer thing's in process. I'm just waiting for him to.
Which, if people don't know, North
back.
American Rescue is where your trauma gear, your tourniquets, your gauze, they're one of the most reputable dealers in that industry.
Yeah.
I've always dealt with them, and just meeting those guys and now having faces and being able to get all of them directly is awesome.
Oh, those guys were great to talk to. Too.
They were really cool.
One of the really good chats we had, near the top of the list there, was with Andy at Phoenix for the flashlights.
That was like one of the longest chats.
He showed us
He literally walked us through every light that Phoenix makes, which was great because we learned a lot about the light product. And
I learned how to tell whether the lights are drop safe or not, or impact resistant,
weapon rated, all that stuff.
And I kind of want to buy their light that qualifies as a laser.
16 million candle power.
That thing was amazing. And he showed it like across the room, and I think
up into the ceiling.
I think
like
the dot
60
was
feet.
maybe 8 inches across from way over there.
It was crazy.
I think he melted a couple roaches up on the ceiling or something.
Speaking of, we will be having Phoenix lights in the store.
Yep, that's
We're
one of the
gonna
things
carry
we're carrying. The Phoenix order is on the way.
Yep,
it's on the way. I got the
awesome.
notification. And then some of the suppliers we deal with, like the wholesalers, we got to meet our guy from Amchar, Amchar's based here in Rochester, but also in Georgia.
Yep.
So talked to him a little bit. Talked about a new gun safe that they're going to be rolling out.
I'm kind of excited about that gun safe.
Yeah. So
all the things to be excited about a gun safe, but it is pretty neat. So,
I know. I like the way they did it. So we'll see. I know we're going to get we'll call it a demo model, but we'll have a model here in the store. And
might be a model in my basement.
There might be another one in our basement, yeah. And the price point on it for the size, I remember what I paid for my last safe for that size.
Well, no, that's the thing. The price point is phenomenal.
Yeah. Mine was near $2,100.
Yeah, this one.
And this thing was like
that.
under $9,000.
Yeah.
My buddy Randy Watt.
Oh, Randy Watt. Yeah.
Yeah. He's working with an ammunition guys that are making this new ammunition, which
self-defense ammunition with a line of range ammo too.
Yeah,
but it's geared towards self-defense.
Right.
Yep.
And I'm excited to try out the sample pack he's got.
We're getting a sample pack to try out. Yes, exactly.
Simex ammunition. They have.
Yes.
There was the range version.
Yep.
And then the carry, which is good. But I'll tell you, just watching the testing videos that they had, I was like,
and listener
holy
Randy,
cow.
who wouldn't put his name out there with something unless he really believed in it.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely excited about that ammo.
Yeah.
For sure.
Randy's one of the good guys. If if you guys want to Google something, Randy Watt. He is he's done some interesting stuff.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
But the cool thing is, like, you go to some of them really planned for this, right? Like you had this one company, custom patch ops. I'm going to be ordering some special patches.
Those guys were cool.
But they set this up just for this year's SHOT Show.
Yep.
Okay. And then you go, over at USCCA, the guys came up, oh, you guys need some badge holders. And they came up with this one was first.
Yeah. Okay. They had a patch of the day.
And then they had 3 other patches for each subsequent day.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember which one was. I think the Trash Panda Raccoon guy was second day.
That was day 2. I
think the Snake was the 3rd day.
And that was the last day.
And the Mona Lobby was the last day. So I got a few of those.
Nice.
Over by Glock. This is the swag stuff, right? Everybody goes and gets some swag and they give stuff out.
I've got stickers and
But they got the Glock Perfection continues.
Yeah,
right?
continues.
So, that was cool. Some of the ones that we saw, we saw Condition 1. They had a little joke inserted in there.
Berna had a bunch of patches.
Berna, everybody.
Very cool.
I don't know. I forgot all the other stuff I got.
Very
I only
cool
brought
stuff.
a little bit.
Advice for people going to SHOT Show? If someone does really say, I want to go, what advice? I'm trying to think,
I got a couple.
Okay, go for it.
I got a couple. Good shoes.
Yeah.
Comfortable shoes.
More than one pair.
Yeah.
Because you want to wear a pair and then switch out, wear a different pair the next day.
Yeah.
So I did that, and that was like one of the best things I did. Mm-hmm. Two good pairs of shoes.
Well, I know you and I change shoes a lot. Like at night, I was wearing my sneaks.
Right.
And the next day I wore my sneaks, and at night I wore my hikers.
That's exactly what I was doing. Because man, you beat those shoes down walking all day. Yep.
Yeah. Also, bring more pairs of socks than you think you need.
Double the socks.
Because when I had a chance, I sat down and I changed my socks out
and that
during
helps.
the day, and that keeps the cushion and the loft of the sock up.
That helps a lot.
I was only kind of joking, but not. If you're planning on going to SHOT Show, about 3 days before you go, start ramping up the vitamin C.
Yes. Yeah, I wouldn't.
Okay? And take some Airborne, take some Zycam with you, and then pop one of those every once in a while. I had some hand sanitizer. Most of the booths had one.
And don't touch the railings.
And don't touch the railings.
Another one.
Exactly. Yeah, hands off.
Don't touch the railings. But then you're touching all the guns and shit that everyone else touched. So I don't know. I really don't know how much that's going to do for you. But
I guess what I would say is don't lick your hands when you're done.
Don't
touching
do
all
that.
stuff.
Don't do that.
All right.
Bring your own snacks. Like bring some protein bars, some granola bars, whatever you like. And take them with you because they're really. I mean, I was surprised at the dearth of food. In the convention center,
the two concessions ones they had in the middle,
in the main big room. Yeah,
honestly, I think I had the pizza the one day.
Yeah,
I thought it was okay. I gave up after like half of it.
The food was not great. I will say that. Yes, that's correct.
The salad I had on the second time we went there was better.
Yeah.
It was a Caesar salad, so it's easy to make and put together.
But they even had the courtyard had the pulled pork. That was out. We tried to get that. Yeah. They ran out. So bring your own snacks.
They had hot dogs but no bun.
Hot dogs but no. That's
they
right.
ran out of buns.
I forgot about that. They ran out of buns.
The biggest thing I would tell you if you're going to go, and I had it in a way. You were doing it. Is have a plan. Have a plan on what you want to see, who you want to meet.
Yep.
Make that your mission, and then all the other stuff you'll see on the way.
Build it around that. Yeah. That's true.
Make the wandering, the incidental stuff. Like when we went from Berna to Phoenix, there were about 40 booths between it.
Right, but we checked those out on the way. So we could
zigzag down the aisles.
Exactly. Same thing when we went down to see Randy downstairs because he was in that weird smaller room. Yeah. Not small physically, but like shorter room where there was a lot more vendors.
I think it was like 20-foot ceilings, and they felt like the ceiling was right here.
And when we were trying to wait to meet him, we just kind of wandered around there. saw, what is it, Swordin. Ear
yeah,
Pro.
that was actually pretty good. They were on my list to see.
Yep, that was cool.
So the Ear Pro the MSA by Swordin, which is now no longer MSA Swordin.
Not owned by MSA. Swordin.
It's all Swordin now.
Yep.
They've really ramped up their Ear Pro.
They got some cool stuff coming out.
I might be looking at getting a new pair.
Yeah. The other piece of advice I'd say, get up early, because what we ran into is the breakfast places are mobbed right in the morning. So the earlier you get up and get down out of the hotel, go get breakfast, the better off you'll be. And get into the show early. What I noticed was, like, the show opened at 8:30. 8:30. Yep. If you were there at 8:30, there wasn't a lot of people. Like, you could get in, especially if there's a popular booth, go early.
Yeah.
And then the crowd by 10 o'clock was starting to get heavy.
Right.
That's what. But at 8:30 to 10, you kind of had a window where it wasn't as busy.
Well, usually what happens is they're all doing their quick meetings, and then people just start wandering.
Yeah.
The one thing that I will definitely suggest we didn't do, but I wanted to try and do it, is if you want to work, like, instead of working your way away from the entrance, when you go in, just go to the furthest part of the show
and work your way back.
And then wherever you end up,
we did that the wrong way.
That's where you start.
Yeah,
the next
we did
day.
that the wrong way.
There is a way to do this.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll do it at the NRA show this time. I'll go in the entrance and go to the furthest end and work my way back.
There you
go. But honestly, guys, it's an experience. It is just something to go see if you can.
It is. If you're into this stuff, it's probably worth going. So.
Because you do see what new products are coming out or what is out now.
Yeah.
You get to interface with people that are in the company instead of just reading about it online.
Yep.
For my purposes, I got to interface with some people who, shaking their hands and talking to them directly made a huge difference instead of over the phone or video
except
chat.
Personal touch. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So it was good. Like, professionally, I made probably about a dozen or so contacts that are going to become fruitful within this year. Mm-hmm. Like, things are going to just develop.
That's cool.
And then reinforce some previous contacts, refresh the memory.
Yep.
But, some of the products we saw, some of the stuff we got, the orders we were able to make, for me, it was fun, but also very worth it.
Fun and fruitful. Yeah.
Yeah. So guys, that's our wrap up.
That's our wrap
for SHOT.
Hey, if you got questions about SHOT, put them in the comments below. We'll try to get in there and answer.
Yeah.
What did we say, or just general questions about SHOT Show.
Trust me, there's stuff that we saw that we are just
stuff.
like
there was so much. It'll pop into my brain. Maybe I'll leave some comments as I think of things.
Yeah, but honestly, we'll throw some stats out. Just tell you just how massive this thing is.
It's huge.
They've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah. Bigger every year.
Yeah, I think it's been at least 15 years since I started going there.
Right.
Maybe more. So.
And like 8 years since you were there, since the last time you were there, right?
Yeah. It's at least twice, if not.
That's cool. I might have to make one more trip back. It may not be next year.
No,
maybe a couple years.
No.
We'll see.
Maybe next year we'll do the Great American Outdoor Show, and then we'll go.
Yeah, we talked about doing that, so that might be the next
we'll go down there, and maybe we'll even get a booth.
We might have a booth there. We've talked about that. So,
all right,
cool.
So, gang, thanks for checking in and listening to us ramble about SHOT Show.
Yeah.
There's no way to explain just how massive this thing is, other than, wow, it's just as soon as I saw the layout of the floors, I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
You got to be. It's just nuts. But like Matt said, if you've got questions about what we may have seen,
drop them in the comments.
And as always, what do they need to do?
They need to like
it,
subscribe
it, and smash that
notification
Smash that notification button.
You got it. Thanks,
check out our next videos, and we'll see you soon.
Match Red Podcast.